Hey y'all, I'm Brittany, and this is I Love Mess, where we clean up a mess and we talk some trash. Okay, we're really not gonna talk trash. It's more like a commentary channel. It's like cleaning and commentary channel. And of course, the battery is dying right now. Great. Okay, we're back. Of course, my first time trying to film and the battery dies, so this is just a great start. Like I said, I love mess, and most likely this is going to be a pretty messy video. This isn't really a drama channel, but I do love watching drama channels. This is a mix between my two loves on YouTube, cleaning videos and commentary videos. Maybe I'll add graphics. I probably won't. It just makes sense that the first topic we talk about on I Love Mess is Rachel Hollis and toilets and relatability. So join me as I clean my toilet. But just you wait, I have two toilets. That's right, I have two toilets. Aren't you jealous? Aren't I unrelatable? But first things first, let me tell you about my history with Rachel Hollis. I was probably introduced to Rachel Hollis at the end of 2018, beginning of 2019 by someone that I followed on Instagram. Now, looking back at it, I don't even like that person that recommended Rachel Hollis, so that should have told me something. But in any case, I found her interesting. I read Girl Wash Your Face. I thought it was fine. I thought her humor was interesting, as in, I kind of like messy humor. I kind of like when people are different. But I like the business advice. I was mostly following her for the business advice and not really the family stuff because I don't have a family. At the time, it was just my boyfriend and I. And then we've added 2 dogs in the mix. Not really the same as 4 human children, but I thought her and Dave were interesting and entertaining. A lot of the time, I would watch them in here on the toilet. Rachel and Dave used to do 9 a.m. live streams on Instagram, so I would set my phone up in the bathroom and would listen to it when I was taking a shower and getting ready in the morning. That's the interesting part though. A lot of people that do commentary about Rachel Hollis never really watched the live streams. So I feel like I got a different insight on them that a lot of other people have not. As someone that spends way too much time on Instagram, I've seen their stories a lot. And I'm not really the type of person that collects receipts. But now I wish that I did. Because there were some things that I saw that was like, oh, that's interesting. I remember on Dave's story once, he was in Noah's bedroom with Rachel and Noah. Makes sense. And Rachel was sitting in Dave's seat where they usually do tea time with Noah. And Dave was filming them and was clearly joking, like, someone's trying to take over my show. And Rachel was like, you mean I can't sit and talk with my daughter? He posted that on his story. I watched it like 10 times. And I was like, he does not have the awareness that maybe you shouldn't have put that on the internet. That was clearly well before the divorce announcement, and the signs were there. I will be talking about the divorce announcement in this video, but I have no issue with them getting divorced. I do have plenty of issues of the fraud, essentially, surrounding their relationship, but get a divorce. It doesn't matter. Do what's best for you. Actually, I probably get it. Dave damn near docks them on a daily basis, so I get it. He's probably annoying. It's fine. There's a lot of things that I feel like is wrong in the Rachel Hollis situation. A lot of people have shared their opinions online, and I'll link to some of my favorite videos, especially about this sweet lady who cleans my toilet situation. But first things first, let me start cleaning my toilet. Okay, let's go. Okay, do I have gloves? First things first, let's talk about the inconsistencies. One thing that's always bothered me about Rachel is half the time, we're her tribe. She loves us. We're her people. But anytime there's any criticisms, we're strangers on the internet.
So to sort of get that backlash from the community in a way, to me, that feels very antiquated, of like, oh, how dare you as the woman, you know, not fight for this or whatever.
Not fight for your marriage?
Oh, girl. I was on live stream yesterday and people were like, are you sure? But are you really sure there's not just some chance? And I'm like, you stranger in Des Moines think that I made this decision lightly, so lightly, in fact, that you on live stream right now that I'm going to be like, oh, you know what, Cheryl, thank you. Let me, like, as if they know the full story, as if they understand. People are wild, right?
I had no intention of talking about this, but why women?
She was on Lisa Bailu's podcast a number of months ago where they were having a conversation that most likely should have stayed private. She blamed everyone for being mad at her for getting a divorce. Girl, no one's mad that you're getting a divorce. What we're mad at is that you admitted to lying for 3 years about your relationship. And as a Savvy Writes book said, when you make your relationship a product, this is now a product review. People have a right to say, you presented one idea of your relationship and people poured money into you. My boyfriend once asked me if I felt upset that I spent any money on Rachel Hollis. And honestly, I haven't spent a lot of money on Rachel Hollis. But I think what's more upsetting, not even for me, but for most people, is they spent time on her. They spent attention on her. And that's time that people won't be able to get back. And sure, I could have spent my mornings listening to something else in the bathroom. So, like, it's fine. Like, I'm not that pressed about it. But I wish that she would understand that time is such an important currency that people will never be able to make back. People spent time and energy and attention on you, Rachel, and it was betrayed. Now, I'm not saying that you didn't think your relationship was never going to work and this was just all a front for 3 years, even though apparently someone said on a live stream once, someone else was watching the live streams, that she was looking for a book and then Dave said it's in your bedroom. I don't know. You're my tribe versus you're strangers on the internet. Why are you picking and choosing what people are going to be when it best suits your needs? That I'll never understand. The biggest inconsistency of them all right now is relatability versus unrelatability. And Rachel, why do you think we think you want to be relatable? Well, first off, your entire brand was based on, I'm just like you. I want to share something from Savvy Writes Books video where she reviewed Didn't See That Coming, where she shared one passage from the book, which definitely made me think you want to seem relatable, and it's related to toilets. Well, maybe not toilets, but bathroom humor. Insert clip here.
So So Rachel's like, I'm going to read this dramatically. It was dark out and I decided to let that gas out of my body. No one was around to be disturbed by it, and it was certainly disturbing me as it danced along my colon. So I decided to get rid of it. I pushed a little. I pushed with the same energy as I would lightly tap on my car horn to let the truck in front of me know the light had turned green. Not enough for anything offensive. Nothing happened. I'm embarrassed to say it. I'd honestly prefer you all believe I don't actually pass gas, but when nothing happened, I did the lean. You know what I'm talking about, right? When you're concerned that your gas might be trapped inside your butt cheeks because the way you're sitting is holding them together in a vice death grip, and then you lean over to one cheek to alleviate the butt cheek seal, and then you push again. I loved guys, I lost it. I was like, this is the funniest shit I've ever read. And then after that, she talks about how she had some really nasty diarrhea that was shooting out of her ass like a missile. And I was like, that's hilarious, dude. I love it. I love it. But I think that in writing this, the intention was kind of like, because she tries to connect it to what she's talking about later about the journey of healing after loss, but it's not really clear. Like, I'm totally lost on how that story is supposed to relate to her overall point. I think that, truthfully, the point of that story was to seem relatable, to be like, look, I take nasty butt shits like you do. I'm exactly the same as you. I thought it was like supposed to be humanizing, but I realized that it was essentially curated imperfection.
So it's a lot. Why would you share such a story if you did not want to seem relatable? We all have stinky farts too. I fuck up the toilet just like you do. My sweet lady who cleans them, she's seen it. She cleans it up for me. Okay, Rachel. You really thought that no one was going to question that? This is the part that upsets me the most about that video is she really thought she was doing something. She leans into that camera like, what makes you think I want to be relatable? Oh, your whole brand. Your whole brand. Every single thing that you've done. The curated imperfection of it all. My phone wants to know how well I've slept and how tired I feel. I feel exhausted. But I didn't wake up at 4 a.m., so I guess I have no excuse of why I feel tired. That's a different topic. Let us show you the video in question. I really should start cleaning the toilet.
Okay, yesterday I was doing a live stream and I mentioned that there's a sweet woman who comes to my house twice a week and cleans. She's my house cleaner. She cleans the toilets. Someone commented and said, "You are privileged AF." And I was like, you're right. I'm super freaking privileged, but also I worked my ass off to have the money to have someone come twice a week and clean my toilets. And I told her that. And then she said, well, you're unrelatable. What is it about me that made you think I want to be relatable? No, sis, literally everything I do in my life is to live a life that most people can't relate to. Most people won't work this hard. Most people won't get up at 4 a.m. Most people won't fail publicly again and again just to reach the top of the mountain. Literally every woman I admire in history was unrelatable. If my life is relatable to most people, I'm doing it wrong.
So, it was a lot. This is such an interesting situation because it so easily could have been avoided, but she's reached just such a level in her head, like this God complex of just like she can do no wrong and what she says is law, and it's just fine because there are going to be people who will accept her fake apologies even though they're absolutely not for them. Like, I don't know. Now, Rachel, I don't know why I'm talking to you. You're not watching this video. You know, this is probably a good time to talk about the criticisms. You don't like reading them. You don't like hearing them at all, to the point of you deleting the posts. Now I get it. There's two camps of delete this immediately or keep it up so people can read the comments sharing why this is harmful. You know, I don't really know where I stand on that. I don't really care. I try to not put up stuff on the internet that will cause such reaction, but that's just me. You've made it a point to say that you do not read the comments. Okay. Okay, sure. But you're missing out. Is it like you don't read the comments or you don't read the bad ones? Do you have someone reading them for you? We know you have filters on your posts because Glow Graphics was seeing that one of her comments was constantly getting removed because there was a trigger word in it that was getting it removed off of your comment section. So there is some monitoring happening. It's just not happening with you. So no one likes to be criticized. Like, well, some people do, but that's their own thing that they have to work out with their therapist. And that's fine. That's not my issue to deal with. But I feel like, how can you grow if you don't learn? Now, listen, I'm an Aries. I don't want to hear it. I'm a know-it-all. I know I am. Like, you don't have to tell me I know. See, I don't want to hear either, but there is a point where someone's going to tell you, and you're going to have to listen, and it may hurt, and it may sting, and you may hate yourself and feel really bad, but it's okay. It just happens. It's just a part of growing up. And the thing, Rachel, there's like a month difference in age between us. I think your birthday's in May? Not March. Maybe March. I don't know. But there's a month difference between us. We're really close in age. We've had wildly different experiences growing up. But I have a feeling like we still hold a lot of the same beliefs. Work really hard. Good things will happen. Let me wipe down this toilet. Oh, Jesus. I hope you saw that. Okay, so we need to talk about your yes friends. Now, if you want to hire your friends, do what you want. You're cultivating a world around you where no one can question what you do. I get it. I have a pretty dominating personality, and I love to be right. So at least I recognize that's a fault. I'm not sure that you do. You have a history of plagiarizing, of profiting off of Black culture, just generally being not that great, but there doesn't seem to be anyone around you that will hold you accountable. You throw your team under the bus all the time. This whole thing with the relatability and the sweet lady who cleans my toilets makes me wish that we could just go back to the damn tomatoes post. I don't understand why you're so hell-bent, at least in that moment, to not be relatable. There's nothing wrong with being relatable. Actually, when I first saw that post, I was like, okay, like it meant really nothing to me. I was even talking to my boyfriend about it. I'm like, oh, what's like the difference between relatability and being personable? And I'm trying to like theorize it and like make it this big like philosophical thing, but like really no, it was just her being shitty towards a viewer. And that's something we should address. Now, I love a teaching moment. Again, I'm probably not the best person in the world or at all, so you know, this video is not about me, it's about Rachel. But okay, editing Brittany here. I completely did not finish my thought because the batteries died. I had to take the dogs out. It was an ordeal and I completely forgot my thought. So my thought was this: Rachel, I get it. I run on petty too. You want to make an example out of somebody, but like, the whole point of that TikTok was literally to make that one person feel bad for bringing it up. And like, I know a lot of people have said that to you, but you literally made it because of that one person. As much as I love petty, that's really petty and kind of unnecessary. So I don't know, sis. I don't know. That's going to be the name of my book. All right, back to the video. So yeah, let's talk about the divorce. Now, no one has an issue that you got a divorce. Not at all. At least from my perspective, that's not the issue. The issue is you presented this exceptional marriage. And that's the word you kept using, exceptional. This is what we want to aim for, what you and Dave have. So people believed it. That was part of the Hollis brand, your relationship. So when you announce that you're getting a divorce and admit that for 3 years you were struggling, the past 3 years have been the height of your popularity. So it's all been a lie. Now, I'm not saying that you didn't think that it wasn't going to work. I'm sure you tried, and I'm not going to fault you for that. But the photo that you actually used for the post is the same photo you used a couple months back, talking about a podcast episode where it's the best you've ever been. Okay, I know a lot of people have made the correlation of didn't see that coming, but you did see it coming. People feel betrayed. They feel lied to. And it's true, you did lie to them. When you make your relationship a product, what are we supposed to do? We bought into it. People bought into it with their time and energy and attention by listening to your podcast and following you online, to actually spending money on your life coaching, to your now infamous relationship conference where apparently you were drunk for most of it. I don't know. I wasn't there. But this is the problem. You're never going to admit any wrongdoing, because you would have to explain for so much. You would have to go back and say, yes, we did it for the money. We did it for the clout. You did it for something. It may have not been like conscious, like, yeah, we're gonna lie to everyone. We're gonna take everybody's money. But you had to know that there was some morsel of dishonesty here. That's what people are upset about. They're upset that you're never going to admit that what you did was wrong. It would be different if you were just any other couple, even if both of you were online and you said you were getting a divorce. It's like, oh, that's sad. But it's the part that you made your relationship part of your brand. That's the problem. No one would care if Jenna Kutcher all of a sudden says she's getting a divorce. Like, oh, that's sad. Like, that's not part, like, her family's part of her brand, but like, they aren't the brand. That's the difference. You have such a disconnect with that. But that's the thing. There's no disconnect, you know. And that's why your tribe turns into strangers on the internet that you complain about with your friend on a podcast. Rachel, I don't know why I keep talking to you, because again, you're not going to be watching this. But at your level, you have to learn to take accountability. We're beyond the point of taking responsibility for your actions. The actions have been done. But it's time for you to actually step up and start to admit everything that you've done. That means not throwing your team under the bus because you decide to pop off on your Instagram. It's not forcing people into this, everybody's happy and everyone's doing great. Now I get it. I know a lot of people had an issue with the We Choose Joy t-shirts and all of that. There is a point where people are actively choosing to stay miserable. That's on them. There are also people who have actual mental issues. There are people who have actual mental issues who it's not so simple. Like, I understand the nuance here. I've seen other commentary channels which have like a hard time with like, don't you dare tell me to be happy. Like, it's not like that. Like, I get it. But like, there's a point to where it's like, okay, when are we actually taking accountability for what we do and not trying to force a narrative on everyone else? Let's clean a toilet. Also, I hate when people show you their dirty toilets. Like, we understand. We know. Cleaning. Can you see it? Can you see it? Okay, so what else do I have to say here? That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about here. Is she's never going to admit any type of wrongdoing, and that's the problem in my eyes. Honestly, I think she should just get a job high up in Goop and just call house code rap, move on, just get a job behind the scenes and keep moving on in your life. Frankenfurter and I think that's enough to say on this situation. Thanks so much for watching this first episode of I Love Mess, where I clean up a mess and talk some trash, but not really talk trash because it's not a drama channel. But I do love drama channels. It's just cleaning and commentary. That's what I do every day of my life, so I might as well film it and put it on YouTube. So I really hope that you enjoyed this episode. Leave your thoughts in the comments, like and subscribe, and maybe I'll see you in another video.